615, 1320, WILS. George Washington University now announcing that it is joining about 850 universities in the country in getting rid of its SAT requirement. What's happening here, and what's the impact of these decisions? Jean Burk knows all about it, an education expert and an expert in passing these tests. Find her at collegeprepgenius.com. Jean, great to have you here.
Hey, thanks, Mike, for having me.
Yeah, so this is a growing movement. 850 universities, George Washington University, really the most prestigious so far. Why are they making this move? Why are we seeing this test optional approach taken?
Well, before you celebrate, we need to, all the kids out there are so excited. Let's talk about, what they're not showing you.
Uh-huh.
We see the trend because, they're thinking, well, we'll get more enrollment, and they have gotten more enrollment, which is great.
Yeah.
But that isn't necessarily a good thing when you realize that we have got only about 1/3 of kids graduating, and there's the screening process isn't as as intense as it is because everybody looks the same on paper. Everybody.
Let me ask you, Jean. Do you don't have us on speaker, do you?
No.
Okay, just wanted to check the. Is it just for enrollment? Is that why? I mean, why are these universities even pursuing this policy of making SATs optional?
Well, I think they're trying to get rid of the myth that lower economic students maybe don't want to take a test because they may not do as well, which is again that's kind of a myth. I think that they're afraid to take a test because I think most kids don't understand that really these are just logic tests. But one of the things that you got to know is that test optional schools, most of those are specialized schools. About 90% of schools, are still, you still have to take an entrance exam. But another thing. So
wait, are you saying that the view is that the SAT is biased against students from urban areas? Is that it?
No. That's been a myth.
Okay.
That people think because they can't take an expensive prep school, which, by the way, is not how you ace the SAT anyway. There's nothing to do with taking an expensive prep school. But a lot of these test optional schools still have their own entrance exams. So I think a lot of kids don't realize that just because you're not taking an SAT or an ACT, they're going to give you some other kind of standardized test, which is very similar.
To that. And do you believe these tests like SAT, ACT, are they do they give a clear sense of what a student really knows going in?
No, not at all. An SAT doesn't measure what you know. An SAT measures your critical thinking skills because a 4.0 at one high school is not the same 4.0 at another. So the only fair way a college can compare, let's say a kid who got a 1300 today, they can compare him or her to a student who got a 1300 5 years ago. Mm-hmm. And because what they do is they record all the data and they use that to say, okay, how well did this student do in college? It's the only numerical component that's common to all applicants. And
do you think it really works, though? Do you think it gives us legitimate information?
It's probably the best that we have because we don't, one kid might go to a really hard school, one might go to a really easy school and have the same GPA. But I think one of the most important things to remember, if you're going to go to a test optional school, if you want scholarship money, you will still have to take the SAT or ACT.
Oh, really?
Because college, yeah.
To get scholarship money. By the way, I'm talking to Jean Burk. She's at collegeprepgenius.com. Gina, what I want to ask you, too, is about, because you prepare students for these tests, these SAT tests. If you're a C student, are you able to get somebody to get just an amazing score on the SAT?
You know what? I've got valedictorians that bomb the SAT. I've got kids at the bottom of the class who can ace it. These are logic tests, and the questions are designed to trick the kids because they're not testing how smart they are. They're testing their thinking skills because they want to know how well you can answer questions under pressure. So once I take a student, whether they're a valedictorian who's bombed it or whether they're a middle of the class rank, once I show them how that these questions are purposely misleading and the wrong answers are very appealing, they learn to mark off the trick answers, and then they can do very well. And then
so let's say you are a C student and you take your course and you really do incredibly well in the SAT. Does that get you into a great college, or are you still going to have problems?
Absolutely, because here's why. Colleges go up on their rankings nationally based on their test scores. So the higher the score, the more money you get because you make them look good. So your high SAT score can mitigate your low GPA.
Oh, really? Okay. I did not know that. I always thought if you had a low GPA, forget about it. And how many points can you increase somebody's score, would you say, in training them?
Well, we've had many kids raise their scores as much as 600 points.
How much? 600 points?
600, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds like
what we're doing, we're showing them, see what most kids do, and this is why a lot of smart kids bomb the test. They want to read every line of every passage. They want to spend 3 or 4 minutes working out every math problem, and you only get a minute per question. Mm-hmm. So we teach you how to answer every question in 30 seconds or less.
Wow. That sounds good. Jean Burk, education expert, find her at collegeprepgenius.com. collegeprepgenius.com. I don't remember my SAT score. That probably tells you a lot. It must have not been very good, but I probably would have benefited from some prep. Hey, Jean, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike, for having me.